And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time?
Yeah, there's traffic. You're starting on look out. This frequency,
the Swahili net.
If we have emergency traffic, go ahead.
It's going to talk right over the top of you, Barry. He's just going to talk right over the top of you on the Swahili net.
And hearing nothing in importance, we'll continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our QSO-VLOG network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the QSO-VLOG network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 3,000 QSO-VLOG AIRCHECK recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the QSO-VLOG network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically. And in addition, we're running our newer number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States. Try and get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA-5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I'd appreciate all stations checking into our QSO-VLOG net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Well, we don't want to come and get it. We got to be 20 over just fine to get a good report. While you QRMing ongoing communication. Well, we don't want to.
Anybody got any call signs out there? Any call signs?
Shit. You ain't gonna talk to anybody. Well, we don't want to come and get a Reno trade.
I would suggest this is deliberate QRMing if you don't have call signs, buddy.
You said they're using God's name? Well, we don't want to come and get a Reno trade legal action against them. You're not going to talk to anybody but me, brother. You and me, 20 over.
Well, my goodness gracious, and no call signs, so deliberate QRMing.
You are QRMing us, old man, QSY. I told you that earlier. And quit using God's name and all this garbage for your bad amateur habit. You are QRMer. Frequency was in use. QSY, maggot. Well, we don't want to come and get a Reno trade legal. You ain't going to talk to anybody, screwball, except to me. QSY, get the hell off the frequency.
And now, in honor of our QRM attack today, I call this Ode to QRMer. Here's a thought to consider for my QRMer. What if I were you and you were I? Listen to me, brother, at least try. You don't know me, but yet you attack me. I've done nothing to you, so why? Think about it. It's not me to blame for this attack, but you. So I must represent something you distaste. But what could that be? Do my words cause you hate? Does my voice cause you pain? Think about it, brother. It's not me, but it's your rage that's to blame. You must get yourself under control. Because if it's not me you attack today, who will it be tomorrow? Some kid in the park? Yeah, that's be your style. Attack some kid in the park in the dark because it doesn't matter to you. Just anyone will do. Your rage and hate will seal your fate. You know, I would seek help if I were you. This has been Ode to QRM-R. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio to check out, give me a shout.
He's a narcissist.
Yeah, he is a narcissist.
The preacher has spoken. The broadcast preacher has spoken.
Well, we don't want to him and generate legal action against them.
Communication. Get the crap off the frequency, stupid.
Well, we don't want to him and generate legal action against them.
Off the frequency, QSY goofball. Frequency was in use before you came in here with your broadcasting. Get down the band.
That's a negative. We started broadcasting at 3 o'clock on this frequency. Where were you at 3 o'clock?
I was
You
here
weren't
before
talking
you,
to anybody.
goofball.
Where were you at 3 o'clock? We started announcing at 3 o'clock.
Frequency's in use and you ignored me and broadcast.
Where were you at 3 o'clock when we started announcing the net coming up at 3:30? Where were you at 3 o'clock?
We were on here talking at 3 o'clock.
Time now for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, the QRM-R, a mental profile. First, you must understand that for the QRM-R, deliberately interfering with your radio transmissions is a way of striking back, a way of getting even against a perceived enemy, you. Yes, you represent a threat to them, and they hate you for it. And QRMing brings them temporary joy and a sense of satisfaction as they try to obliterate you. Obliterate their enemy off the air because they are true dedicated psychopaths, a severe form of mental illness. Psychopath is a term used to describe someone who has antisocial personal disorder, better known as ASPD. People with ASPD can't relate to other people's feelings because they're so self-centered and full of hate. They were usually spoiled as a child and allowed to do whatever they wanted in regards to acting out. They will often break rules or make impulsive decisions without feeling any guilt and harm that they're causing. The general image of a sociopath is often as a killer, a con artist. Well, need I say more? It seems to relate to what's going on here. The general image, well, other lawbreakers. But this is not necessarily the case. On the contrary, the nearest psychopath might be your boss, or partner, or parent. While most sociopaths may not be literal outlaws, they do share certain traits with them. This includes, well, a lack of remorse, a propensity for unfaithfulness, and a tendency toward behavior that benefits the sociopath at the expense of others. Ah, yes, that sounds to a T like our friendly QRM-R. The true sociopath has a profound lack of conscience, a flaw in their moral compass. Normally, this moral compass steers the average person away from breaking common rules. However, with our QRM-R, he's more poorly treated to his fellow man. This internal moral disconnect, however, is often masked by a charming outward demeanor that he goes out of his way to portray when he's not trying to terrorize his fellow hams by QRMing through the bands. The terms psychopath and sociopath are used interchangeably, but while they may prefer to be similar behaviors, there is a difference. Sociopaths are individuals whose callous deceit behavior has been shaped by environmental factors such as child abuse or exposure to expedient behavior. And because of this, psychopaths are considered to be more amenable to behavioral change or rehabilitation. And so it turns out our QRM-R is a sociopath, and therefore there is hope for our QRM-R after all. And that's why I try to reason with them instead of just ignoring them. I believe that there is hope for QRM-Rs to redeem themselves, but they are subject to some degree of reasoning. They just need to be honest with themselves and ask the question, why? Why do you QRM? How do you feel led to treat other people so badly? What makes you feel good about hurting others? QRMing is not the answer, my friend. The answer is, well, it lies inside you, and your ability to throw off your demons and become a better person. And you can do it if you try, but it begins by you asking your question, why? Why do I QRM? This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I'm going to be with you every day from this day forward. You and me, brother. It's going to be you and me.
Well, you got it, Jack. Get some power going. You might be heard somewhere.
And it's going to be you and me every day.
Preacher, you're in the wrong neighborhood, preacher.
You're going to be you and me every day from this day forward. You and me, man, from now on, 3 o'clock and 3:30, I will be here every day. And you and I will talk about my psychological misfits. QRM-Rs and broadcast on top of everybody with your stupid crap and go sit there and pray to God. Are you serious?
You're on the wrong neighborhood,
It's going to be you and me. My name's Barry, and I'm going to be here every day from this day forward until you get, unless you want to get off this.
Time now for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, Free Speech Terrorist.
Day as a check-in.
A sociopath, and therefore...
In honor of our attack today, the following is something to which I've given a great deal of thought. As we travel through life, we're exposed to many outside forces, some good, some bad, and it's how we react to those forces that makes us ultimately who we are. This piece is about free speech terrorists. We call them QRM-Rs, but they're really terrorists. Terrorists committing treason by trying to take away my right to free speech, the very thing that America was founded on. And these self-styled communist sympathizers obviously think they can kill my free speech by violating amateur radio rules and committing straight-up FCC rule violations by trying to illegally and deliberately interfere with my transmissions. And not by using their call signs. No matter to them, though, they're terrorists. But I've got news for them. Maybe the Federal Communications Commission lacks the time and manpower to police the airwaves, but you, my friend, may be a QRM, but you ultimately are interfering with my right to free speech. And Americans do hold the freedom of free speech in the highest regard. So there may be some folks out there that are fed up with self-styled free speech censorship ways. You must understand just how serious your actions are. You're part of a terrorist conspiracy to violate my right to free speech. And you attempt to stop free speech, puts you right up there with Hitler and other would-be dictators. And it's a shame because there are a lot of people out there that might think a much simpler answer would be to your terrorist ways. I mean, we have to try to reason with you. We've tried to ignore you, but nothing has worked. But let me assure you, you will be rooted out, and you will pay the price for being a terrorist, an un-American, anti-free speech terrorist.
This is Hitler talking to you. I'm going to be with you every day from this day forward. 3:30 every day. I'm AC4VO. I use my call sign.
Preacher, what makes you so perfect?
I use my call sign. I was here before you today. I asked you to QSY maggot.
This segment is Free Speech Terrorist in honor of our QRM attack today. The following is something to which I've given a great deal of thought. We are exposed to many forces as we go through life, some good, some bad. It's how we react to those forces that takes ultimately a toll on us and how we ultimately react. This piece it's all about free speech terrorists and trying to take my free speech away. Yes, you are really a terrorist committing treason by trying to take away my right to free speech. But the very thing that America was founded on. And these self-styled communist sympathizers obviously think they can kill my free speech by violating amateur radio rules and committing straight-up FCC violations by trying to illegally and deliberately interfere with my transmissions. and not by using their call sign. No matter to them, though, they are terrorists. But I've got news for them. Maybe the Federal Communications Commission lacks the time and manpower to police the airwaves, but you, my friend, my QRMer, you are ultimately interfering with my right to free speech. And true Americans hold that freedom in the highest regard. So there may be some folks out there that are fed up with your self-styled free speech censorship ways. And you must understand just how serious your actions are. You're part of a terrorist conspiracy to violate my right to free speech. You attempt to stop my, free speech puts you right up there with Hitler and other would-be dictators. And it's a shame because there are a lot of people out there that might seek a much simpler answer to your terrorist ways. I mean, we have tried to reason with you, we've tried to ignore you, and nothing has worked. But let me assure you, you will be rooted out, and you will pay the price for being a terrorist, an un-American, anti-free speech terrorist. That's what you are.
Ain't that something? I'm going to be with you every day, goofball, every day.
Come on, buddy, give me your call sign.
Perfect, preacher. What makes you so perfect?
Every day.
Give me your call sign.
I'm going to be with you.
Let me hear your call sign.
I gave my call sign 5 times, 6 times. My call sign is
preacher.
Alpha
What makes you
Charlie
so perfect?
4 Victor Oscar. There, broadcaster.
What's your call sign?
We ain't even heard your call sign, broadcaster.
Oh, I've given it about 10 times. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. We've been on the air since 3 o'clock, so I don't know what your problem is, but, very strange. Must be a free speech terrorist out there or two.
Preacher, you're not going to get
Well,
no
you're
way
going to
to
take that call me Hitler and all kinds of weird crap. Oh, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be you and me from this day forward. Every day, I'm going to come down and join you, and you and I will just talk together from now on. Maybe you can help me with my psychological issues, okay?
Callous deceit behavior by environmental factors such as child abuse, exposure to expedient behavior.
Mental case. You ever watch this guy on YouTube? He has a YouTube. He likes to rebroadcast everything which is going on.
Is a sociopath, and therefore there is hope for our
Oh, ain't that beautiful, playing recordings on the air, broadcasting on the air, calling people Hitlers and all kinds of crazy stuff. What a piece of work you are, old man. Freak.
Time now for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, A Kinder World. My aim with the QSO-VLOG network is to be a stabilizing force in a sea of uncertainty. My goal is to replace apprehension with knowledge, because it truly is a kinder world. But it requires your input. Like any well-working relationship, I can supply the basic setup knowledge, but the more you know specifically about where things are on your radio, the easier things become. And while a lot of modern-day radios can be a maze of menus, well, together we can work through them if you just know a few things about your radio. First, your TBW settings. I don't know if you know about TBW settings, but it stands for Transmit Bandwidth. Your transmit bandwidth, or TBW, determines how wide your transmitted signal is. We recommend a 100 to 2900 TBW setting, and this setting is usually preferred to as wide and located in your settings menu area. It allows your radio to operate at its best capability with just a slice of daylight between you and somebody else's conversation.
I will be right here to join your stupid QRMing mess group, because y'all feel like you can broadcast right on top of other ongoing conversations.
Having networks on ham radio, brother. Preacher, you can't do that. It's illegal having a network.
Can't happen. Not going to sit here in QRM on top of ongoing conversation. Think you're going to get away with goofball. I'll be here with you every single day. I got nothing else to do but join you. Oh, that's fine on 83. That's fine. But this maggot here want to broadcast on top of us like this and won't.
We've been broadcasting on this frequency at this time for the last 7 years. 7 years on this frequency at this time. We started announcing the network airing at 3 o'clock, and we announced that at 3:05, at 3:10, 3:15, 3:20, 3:25, and 3:30. So, I don't know where you guys were.
I'm going to sit back, wait till you unkey, and all you're going to hear is me, Alpha Charlie 4, Victor Oscar. So we'll play the game. We'll play the game, man. You can broadcast all you want. When you unkey, you're going to hear me, and that's all there is to it. This is Alpha Charlie 4, Victor Oscar. You QRM me. You walk right on top of us. Ongoing conversations. I could give a crap how long you've been using this frequency. No net on no frequency. Read the frickin' 97. You don't own this frequency, screwball, okay?
No, it's just, a consideration of generosity of the amateur radio operator involved. But obviously, this operator is not a very good ham operator as far as being relinquishing the channel to a ongoing network.
A good buddy.
Yeah, I'm not a good ham radio operator because I'm not going to sit there and move because you decide you're going to talk right on top of me. I'm not a good ham. Ain't that something? You control. You are in control. You've been here for 30 years on this frequency, so you key up regardless of who's on the frequency at the time, and you control it and you own it. Really? QSYO, man, the frequency's in use, been in use before you started. I'll be with you every single day from this day forward. You and I are going to really come to know one another.
I'm with you, brother.
So you just come on and broadcast to me some more. Call me Hitler. Do whatever you want to call me, but I'm going to be with you. It's you and me now, bro. It's you and me, okay? So you go ahead and QRM me. My name is Barry. Bravo Alpha Romeo Yankee. Again, my call sign, Alpha Charlie 4 Victor Oscar. Frequency was in use. I'm asking you again, QSYO, man. Leave the frequency. It's in use. You don't own it.
Oh, my goodness. I have been recording since 3 o'clock, so I have documented what this is about, and you're going to sound real good on YouTube.
I could care less about YouTube, Stewball. Record this. You are a freaking idiot, okay? You are a QRMer, and you are sitting there thinking you own frequencies on the ham radio operator, and you want to pray to God about this, and you sitting there doing illegality when Christ said in the scripture, do unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God. And what he meant by Caesar unto Caesar is follow the law of man wherever we live. And this country says you do not operate a frequency if it's in use, and you did so right on top of us, boldly, arrogantly, and broadcasted. QSYO, man. This frequency is in use, and this frequency will be in use from this day forward from now on until you and I come to an understanding.
Oh, man, you are a terrorist, psychopathic terrorist. I announced every 5 minutes from 3 o'clock to 3:30. I even announced 30 seconds before 3:30 that the network would be beginning.
Well, yeah, talking to nobody. When you came in, I said the frequency is occupied. It was in use, and you just said you keyed down and broadcast right on about 7 guys in here all at the same time, and you just keyed down and broadcast with your stupid bull crap on top of us, calling us names, Hitlers and all kinds, and terrorists and all kinds of bull crap. So it ain't gonna happen, man. I'm sorry. You okay? I hate bullies. I hate stinking ham radio bullies, and you're one. You think you own something, man? You don't own a damn thing. You definitely don't own AC4VO. I'm with you now, brother. It's you and me.
You can't hold a frequency hostage. Let him start talking. We'll give him some of his own medicine.
And somebody needs to help him with his audio.
Oh, how you want to do this, old man? I don't even know your first name. My name's Barry. I've told you my name there, monologuer.
Time now for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, Free Speech terrorist, in honor of our QRM attack today. The following is something to which I've given a great deal of thought. As we travel through life, we're exposed to many outside forces, some good, some bad. It's how we react to those forces that make us ultimately who we are. This piece is all about free speech terrorists. We call them QRM-Rs, but they're really terrorists. Terrorists committed to treason by trying to take away my right to free speech, the very thing that America was founded on. And these self-styled communist sympathizers obviously think they can kill my free speech by violating amateur radio rules and committing straight-up SEC rule violations by trying to illegally and deliberately interfere with my transmissions. And by not using their call signs, and no matter to them, though, they're terrorists. But I've got news for them. Maybe the Federal Communications Commission lacks the time and manpower to police their airwaves, but my friend, my QRMer, you ultimately are interfering with my right to free speech. And Americans hold that freedom in highest regard. So there may be some folks out there that are fed up with your self-styled free speech censorship ways. You must understand just how serious your actions are. You're part of a terrorist conspiracy to violate my right to free speech. Your attempt to stop my right to free speech puts you right up there with, well, Hitler, as we said, and other would-be dictators. And it's a shame because there are a lot of people out there that might seek a much simpler answer to your terrorist ways. I mean, you have tried to be reasoned with, and we tried to ignore you, and nothing's happened. But let me assure you, you will be rooted out, and you will pay the price for being a terrorist, an un-American, anti-free speech terrorist. That's what you are.
Yeah,
hey,
whatever.
Hello there, Jim.
Yeah,
KK4CZ.
Well, hi, Andy, do there. What's happening?
Hey, doing pretty good. You sound real strong. I'm over here in Louisville. I know you're over there in Indiana, but yeah, you're about 23 over, man.
And just talk right over.
Yes, sir. We got a bunch of free speech terrorists out there. They just, started announcing the net would begin at 3:30, and we started that at 3 o'clock, 3:05, 3:10, 3:15. Nobody was there. 3:20, nobody was there. 3:25, nobody was there. And, at 3:28, we announced the net would start, and then all of a sudden, these guys thought it would be, a great idea to start a conversation, and the net was already in business.
No, the net wasn't.
No. Well, no big deal. They don't bother me. I'm talking over them, you're talking over them. So, hey, long time no hear. Where you been? You been riding your bicycle?
No, I don't ride my bike anymore, man. I gave that up a few years ago. I had an incident where I'm not really sure what happened, but I was riding this bike and up in the park, and I had to stop for just a moment. And so I was sitting there, and it started to go over a little bit, and I started to stick my foot out to stop my moving sideways, and I must have hit. There's a guard on the pedal that keeps your foot on the pedal, and I couldn't get my leg up over that guard, and I did do just a plop, and so the first thing you kind of look around to see if anybody was looking to see what you did, Roger.
Part of the broadcasting net right here. I'm going to be part of it. Alpha Charlie 4 Victor Oscar. We are all going to Alpha Charlie 4 together. We're all crazy. I'm Hitler, he said, and I'm...
Yeah, it was just a 90-degree situation there, and so I just, considered after that it might not be a wise thing to continue riding the bike, Roger.
Oh, yeah, I don't ride anymore. In fact, Jim, I sold my sold my motorcycle too because of all the stupid people on the roads texting away, and they're getting stupider and stupider. If that's the word.
On top of each other, broadcast.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I often wondered how dangerous that might have been. That could have getting rid of that thing could have saved your life.
Yeah, I know it did. I know it did because, about the third time I about got rear-ended, I said, that's it. And if I wasn't on my toes, Jim, I'd have got whacked on the rear end for big time. So I got rid of it. And, I'm dang near 80 years old. I don't need to be killed on a motorcycle now. Roger that?
Oh, roger that. Now, how are your repeaters going on? How many you got now?
Just like you.
Oh, everybody here, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, well, you know what? We got a new repeater. The triple nickel simplex net N4TNS, and it's the old D-Star split, the 147-460. And we also write this down, 442.5, 442.5 on let's see, I think it's the
oh man, where did this guy come from? What's the QRM?
Like 365 days a year. 442.5. Get on there and talk to the boys.
Roger. What's the PL on that?
What's the preacher?
It's over there. It's in shoot, I can't even think of it. Fairdale. The transceivers, the repeaters in Fairdale. Now there's another one on 147-460, Jim. 147-460, and it's got
I can't wait till next Friday to be here to join this marvelous group.
I don't know, man. The world is coming to an end.
Roger. Well, what do you got now? About 10 of them going?
Hey, Hitler, what are you doing, Hitler?
What's that?
You got about 10 of those repeaters going now?
Brother.
I got about 7 of them, and I've kind of backed off a little bit. I've pulled some irons out of the fire. It's getting pretty busy.
I don't know, man. That's not a good thing bringing up Hitler.
Roger, that's a pretty thankless job keeping all those repeaters going, Roger.
Roger that. Yeah, it's no big deal. Ain't nothing but a thing. It's just, my retirement play toy. So that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna play with the repeaters and have fun. Watch my grandbabies, go to church. Been cleaning church every Thursday or Friday, and today we cleaned today.
I'm gonna warm up my repeater so Hitler can use it.
Having a lot of fun. You got a grandbaby?
Yeah. I'm gonna warm up my repeater so Hitler can use it.
Threaten all this crap. You're gonna threaten.
Roger that. Well, you've been running those repeaters for what, about 30 years?
Rebroadcast you on YouTube.
You want to just broadcast on top?
Roger that. Okay, well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. Covering them completely up. So
I'm just covering everybody
see you later. Just want to wave a hand at you there, Jim. Catch you later. KK4CZ, Louisville, Kentucky.
Goodbye, Louisville.
Roger, Brock, 73 over that way, sir. Good to hear from you as always, and keep all those repeaters going. I know it's really a hard challenge to do that, particularly at the current prices of things, but hopefully in the coming years, maybe prices will come down some, and it won't be so difficult to get parts for repeaters. 73, Brock, and we'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Have a sexy radio you could give. You got to be 20 over 9.
All right, see you later.
Got to be 20 over 9.
Oh, 20 over 9. Oh, yeah, man. Everybody's 20 over 9. Like Jim said, you can't even come on the frequency unless you're 20 over 9.
Got to be 20 over 9 to be broadcasting.
People don't have...
This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. We are on the air usually Friday afternoons on 7188 for the last 7 years, helping folks with their transmitters, helping them set up. Apparently, some folks find that difficult to allow to happen, but they're definitely not good Elmer stock. anyway, this is KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
But you know, it's my frequency. I've been on here for 7 years. It's my frequency. It's Friday, 3 o'clock. Get the hell out of my way.
Play that on YouTube, Jim. Play on YouTube how you QRM, the AC4VO in the group, right here on this frequency, and that you are a QRMer and calling people terrorists and Hitlers and all the other things, Jim. I'm going to be with you every single Friday right here together. Comrades, we're going to have fun, Jim.
Station calling, go ahead.
Alpha Charlie 4, Victor Oscar. All I can tell you is that you're going to broadcast on top of ongoing communications. That is against Part 97.
Go ahead, HEW.
Says that you and Annette do not own a frequency. Go ahead, HEW. Sorry. Frequency was in use. Your net means nothing. You don't. The frequency. Your net.
Go ahead, HEW.
Move up at 3 KCs up, 3 KCs down, run your any way you want to. Don't pop up me. Could have spoke nicely and said, hey, Barry, hey, AC4VO, we have a net. We've been running for 35 years here with your QSO. We would have done so. I would have. I've done it many times for that, Jim. But no, you decided to kill your mic down, broadcast, read your bullcrap Wikipedia garbage on top of us like we didn't exist. So, here I am, AC4VO.
Calling American people Hitler. So what the hell's wrong with the preacher?
So there you go. Everybody's a Hitler in here on this frequency. Everybody here is a Hitler and a terrorist and everything else. Yeah, really, Jim. Like I said, Jim, you could have asked us if you could have told us, but without broadcasting on top of it. You could have said, hey, guys, we have a net here. And we would have QSO'd willingly. I've done it a zillion times. But no, you decided to key down and talk your BS crap and call us names, and me personally names. That's why I'm with you right now, and I ain't leaving. I'll be here next Friday, Jim.
You know, I don't even know who you are. That's the thing about it. And you really don't know who I am.
I've given my call more than one time. Now, Jim, if you
did you know the
specifically and personally,
do you remember the Lumpkin School SDRs? Remember the Lumpkin School SDRs?
And somebody asked you,
where were they?
did you hear somebody?
Yeah, they've moved. They went to Phantom SDR LumpkinSchools.com. Phantom SDR LumpkinSchools.com. It used to be the one in Georgia, you know.
Oh yeah, I heard. I know that one.
Yeah, well, that one's moved, Jim. It's now Phantom SDR, PhantomSDR.LumpkinSchools.com. They moved.
Yeah, Roger that. Well, I'll have to look them up and put them on my Hocus Pocus SDR list. Particularly that one down in Georgia, Roger.
They moved. It's all different. So make sure you got that one in at PhantomSDR.LumpkinSchools.com. I'm hearing you just fine over everybody.
Roger, likewise, Brock. And I'll check out that Phantom SDR, Roger.
Okay,
Phantom SDR.LumpkinSchools, LUMPKIN schools.com.
Roger. That's good to know. That, like I say, I've got 4 the SDRs that I run full time, and then my 5th one is a kind of a Hocus Pocus SDR, a receiver that has 50 pre-programmed SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern part of the United States. And the thought is that if you're running 100 watts in the eastern part of the United States, you should be at least an S9 somewhere. If you're an S1 everywhere across the eastern part of the United States, you're not getting out, Roger.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, that's pretty cool. No one. There's a lot of people that don't know that, but I've been emailing him back and forth because he's had little problems with
camaraderie and just having a good time.
In his classroom, tearing up his receiver,
doing audio checks and getting.
But he got it figured out, and so he moved it to that new site, and it's a pretty good site. So just put that down, write it down, put it in your little bag there. KK4CZ, Louisville, Kentucky.
Roger, Brock. Certainly will do that, man. It's, like I say, that's good. I try to assemble as much information on SDRs as I can because these 100-watt stations usually need some assistance for one reason or the other. A lot of it has to do with poor choices of antennas that one has to run through an antenna tuner. Hopefully one can just go through a low SWR antenna without any need for an antenna tuner. What would you say the antenna tuner takes off? About 10% of the power?
Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Roger that. Now there you go. Okay, I thought I'd just tell you, you're absolutely, totally covered them up, and I know I'm listening to myself on SDR, and I'm totally wiping them out. So, all right, we'll see you later, Jim. KK4CZ, Louisville, Kentucky.
Roger, Brock 73. You're about, I would guess, about 25 over on my local antenna. Thank you very much. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and again, this recording will be available on YouTube by noon tomorrow. Just go for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor with the word logbook after that. That's KC9VKV logbook will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. 73, Brock.
Join you personally, you and me. We'll work together on this one right here, Jim. Can't wait. This is Alpha Charlie 4 Victor Oscar. Barry is the handle. Bravo Alpha, Romeo Yankee, and we are here part of the net, and we all are just having a ball.
You better get more power. You need about another 4,000 watts, because Jim was wiping you out. KK4CZ clear.
That means I got your attention, goofball. You an idiot.
These folks just don't understand.
Gently, you hear me, but you ain't hearing nobody else. So here I am with...
I was just talking to my good buddy there. You're the one that's not thinking correctly.
I care less what you say. You mean nothing to me. What I don't like are stinking frickin' bullies in ham radio, and that's what I consider the whole bunch of you screwballs, a bunch of broadcast bullies, thinking you're going to come in, you own a damn frequency, you own it because you've had a net here for since 30 years, whatever. I could care less. All you had to do was to politely say, we got a net. I would have been more than glad. All of the group that were here, that was...
Yeah, well, good buddy, I said it from 3 o'clock. I said it at 3:05. I said it at 3:10. I said it at 3:15. I said it at 3:20. I said it at 3:25. I said it at 3:28. Now, where the hell were you?
But you were talking to nobody.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They weren't on the frequency. They came on the frequency at 3:28.
All you're doing is broadcasting, Jim. You're not listening to anything. You ask questions, but you want to hear your own voice. So that's all you're doing, Jim. You ask me a question, but you keep talking, because all you want to do, Jim, is hear your own voice and substantiate your bull crap where you talked on top of 7 people, Jim. 7 people were in here carrying on. 7. I asked you personally, hey, the frequency's in use. You could have told me, Jim.
The frequency is in use since 3 o'clock, good buddy. Where were you? Where were you at 3 o'clock? Where were you at 3:05? Where were you at 3:10? Where were you at 3:15? Where the hell were you at 3:20? And where were you at 3:25? You didn't get on the frequency until 3:28 just to raise hell,
The frequency is not in use when you're not talking to nobody.
7 of us were in here talking at the same time. 7 of us were talking. The frequency was in use, okay? And I asked you...
The frequency was not in use, except by me, until 3:28 when you guys came in.
And other guy telling me that, you know, I need to pump it up. I don't need to pump anything up.
Well, you do need to pump something up.
So does Jim. Me and Jim, we're one, Jim, you and I, man, from now on, every Friday. Unless you apologize now, asshole, for what you've been saying about me, and in the future, ask if the frequency's in use. And then I may get out of here, but I'm not going anywhere. I will make you my issue. This whole net, I will be with you every day, every Friday from now on. Now, you got a choice, Jim. You got a damn choice right now. You can apologize to me for calling me Hitler, and I was a United States Marine, okay? I am no damn Hitler, and I am no damn terrorist, okay? I fought for my damn country and this country that you talk about your free stinking speech. You call me a bunch of damn names, man, I will be with you till the cows come home, boy. So you got a chance right now, Jim.
Time now for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, Free Speech Terrorist. In honor of our QRM attack today, the following is something to which I've given a great deal of thought. As we travel through life, we are exposed to many outside forces, some good, some bad. It's how we react to these forces that make us ultimately who we are. This piece is all about free speech terrorists. We call them QRM-Rs, but they're really terrorists. Terrorists committing treason by trying to take away my right to free speech, the very thing that America was founded on. And these self-styled communist sympathizers obviously think they can kill my free speech by violating my amateur radio abilities and committing straight-up FCC rule violations by trying to illegally and deliberately interfere with my transmissions and not using their call signs. And no matter to them, though, they're terrorists. But I've got news for them. Maybe the Federal Communications Commission lacks the time and manpower to police their airwaves, but, my friend, my QRM-er, you're ultimately interfering with my right to free speech, and Americans hold that freedom in the highest regard. So there may be some folks out there that are fed up with your self-styled free speech censorship ways. You must understand just how serious your actions are. You're part of a terrorist conspiracy to violate my right to free speech. Your attempt to stop my free speech puts you right up there with Hitler and other would-be dictators. And it's a shame because there are a lot of people out there that might seek a much simpler answer to your terrorist ways. I mean, we have tried to reason with you, we've tried to ignore you, and nothing has worked. But let me assure you, you will be rooted out and you will pay the price for being a terrorist, an un-American, anti-free speech terrorist.
Broadcast and call me names. You haven't tried to reason about nothing with me, Jim. All you want to do is hear your own voice talk your BS and just sit there and call people names.
Free speech terrorist.
That's all. How about my free speech, Jim? You talked over top of my free speech. I was talking when you came in and broadcast on top of me. I guess my free speech don't matter to you, does it, Jim?
The frequency was in use. I was already on the frequency.
I asked you, we came in and talked. You came in, I asked you to QSY. You did not tell me there was a net. All you did, Jim.
I did tell you a net.
Only on top of me.
This man must be deaf.
You didn't have the decency to say, hey, we have a net here. We would have QSY, Jim. You did not even do that. So that, take a look at your own operating methods, okay? You just decided, well, you own this frequency, so you're going to come in and talk on and do that long-winded bullcrap broadcasting on top of everybody in here. Now, I'll tell you what, Jim. My name's Barry again. I'm Alpha Charlie 4 Victor Oscar. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You apologize to me right now, Screwball, for calling me them names. I am no damn Hitler. I am no terrorist. I'm a United States Marine Corps, okay? I fought for this damn country, boy, and I don't care for that crap. I'll be with you from Friday on, from now on. But I tell you what, we'll solve it right now, right here. We'll solve it right here, right now, Jim. You apologize to me for your damn name calling toward me, and I'll leave you alone. That's as simple as it gets. Over. I'm listening, Jim. You apologize to me for your name calling, and I'll leave you alone. That's as simple as that, or I'll be with you till the cows come home.
Apologize, Jim.
Jerry.
I'm listening, Jim. You want to call me Hitler and a damn terrorist, and you talking to a former United States Marine? Really? I'm listening, Jim. You need an apology, it's me, boy. I'm listening. If you want this frequency in your net back, then you better talk to me on one-on-one, boy, not to broadcast anymore. Broadcasting's over with, son. I don't drink, Stu Ball.
You need to.
I do not drink, idiot.
Harry.
Alpha Charlie 4, Victor Oscar.
Oh, boy, don't get another drink. Oh, my.
I will be back with you next Friday at 3 o'clock. We're all going to be together. Just one happy group. Can't wait. Looking forward to it, actually.
Give it a rest.
Yeah, I'm not a good ham radio operator because I'm not going to sit there and move because you decide you're going to come right on top of me. I'm not a good ham. I ain't that something. You can't, Jim said you can't be part of this group unless you're 20 over. So everybody, you need to pump it up.
Give it a rest.
Never will give it a rest, asshole. Well, you called me, you bunch of idiots called me a frickin' Hitler and call me names like that and terrorist. Oh, man, I belong to you now. We're all together. We're going to be one every single Friday. Ain't that going to be great? Ain't that going to be fun? We all going to be together and just all as one.
Of our QRM, you know you're wrong. Following is procedure which I remember at 3 o'clock. As we travel through life, we're exposed to many outside forces.
Did y'all are we having a good net right now? I hope we are. I'm part of it. This is AC4VO, and we're doing audio checks, and we're doing all the good stuff in ham radio. Really, and we're just broadcasting on top of any ongoing conversations on the frequency. We don't care. I got to get the name of this wonderful net I now belong to. I didn't get the name of it. I need to catch that. Maybe I'll go to YouTube and look it up. I can find it on the computer, so I can go in and I'll log in. I'll go and get me a username and password for this net too. That's going to be fun. AC4VO, part of the net. I love it.
You know, and you're going to sound real good on YouTube.
I could give a damn less about YouTube. Play all your crap you want, man. Who cares? You really think that makes or breaks me? You really think I care about stupid YouTube? Seriously? What an idiot. Here we go. We're right here together, man. Like I said, Jim, you come to me one-on-one. Without the name calling, you and I'll get this straightened out right here, right now. But it ain't going to happen unless you do. It ain't going to happen, boy, until you come to me one-on-one. I'll be with you, and you can YouTube until the cows come home for weeks to come, months to come. I'll make it a point to be part of this group. You better think about what I'm saying, old man. You called me a lot of stinking names, Hitlers and terrorists and all the bullcrap and your stinking idiotic broadcasting, your self-righteousness, praying to God, doing the whole 9 yards while you was QRM-ing ongoing conversations here on the frequency. I don't go for bullies on ham radio. I'll get in your face and I'll stay in your face until, from now on. So, Jim, you want to stop it? You come in here, give me your call, and you and I will straighten it out right now.
All righty.
I'll take a call sign. I'm not going to take you about your drinking. I don't drink. I'm sorry. I haven't touched that spirit in many years. But if I got somebody here with a call sign, I'll listen to you.
I'm drinking a beer, Barry. I got a cold one in my hand.
Hey, Chris. Man, what kind you got?
Coors Light, buddy. Coors Light.
God, I love the old Coors. Those silver bullets, I love them, man.
What's going on? These guys in here jerking you around?
Yeah, we were on the frequency, Chris. There's about 7 of us in here, just carried on, enjoying the moment. This idiot come in with his net, didn't say nothing, just broadcast, just locked it down, Chris, and just talked right on top of us, and then started calling me Hitler, a terrorist, and all the rest of it that goes along with it. And, you know, I can't stand these thinking ham radio bullies, Chris. So.
Yeah, I understand. Well, all I can say is he can take his stupid-ass net onto a frequency that's not in use.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These idiots think because they have a and that's okay to have a net, man. You know, Chris, I've moved them many times QS-wide off a frequency. When somebody comes and say they have a net going on, no problem. Nets are good for the ham. You know, I go into some nets, you know, but to come in and just think that you own it, Chris, and just key down on top of ongoing communications, man. I don't go for that crap, brother.
Oh, I understand. I do. I mean, when the frequency is in use, the frequency is in use.
That's simple. That's what 97 told me.
Even though a drunk's got it.
And besides, I'm pretty sure the world's not going to end if they can't host their net tonight on 188.
Well, I'd have got out of the way, man, in a heartbeat if they'd come in with some sense about them and act. But I'm going to be with them from next Friday, Chris. They hold it here, and I can't wait to join the net next Friday. I'm looking forward to be part of the net. Every Friday, Chris, at 3 o'clock they come in. I'm going to come in about 2:30 so we can all comrade one another. And they also, Jim, the guy that's supposed to doing the broadcasting, Chris, you can't be part of this net unless you're 20 over. Ain't that about nothing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'll talk wherever I want to talk, that's for sure. Ain't no net or ham going to stop me from doing that. But, yeah, I mean, they want to come in here and to kind of politely ask, you know, and be a gentleman about it. You know, that's one thing. But when you want to come in here and show your ass and demand somebody to leave after you're already occupying the frequency, well, that's gonna give a different response.
You got the response from me. Come in here bullying me. Come in and just talk right on top of me. Didn't ask, you know. All they had to do, like I said, anyway, you know, all they had to do was say, hey, man, we have a net. So, you know, we're out of QSY in a heartbeat. I would have. No problems. I've done it a zillion times. So anyway, so what's going on in your world, man? You're about 30 over, but as usual. And I never have got a rundown on you on your radio. You really have an excellent sounding system there, Chris. What kind of radio and mic are you using over?
Well, this is a ICOM 7610, and I'm using just a hand mic on it. The what is it? HM219 hand mic. That's all it is. Using a dual band coaxial dipole. The amplifier is a AL1500, running legal limit.
Ooh, that's that 1500 you got that deal on Facebook, Roger.
No, that's the 1200. The 1200 is also sitting over here, but I was hammering down on that thing for a good almost 2 weeks, so I had to give it a break, and I moved back over to the 1500.
Oh, way to go! That's some nice equipment, man. It really is. That 1500, that's a die-4 too. Them really, you got some really nice amps there. I tell you. Yeah, that's you don't need a desk mic. You don't need any other kind of mic, Chris. That's beautiful. Well, you know, the ICOMs have really come a long way. You remember the old days, I don't know if you were 30 years ago, the ICOMs were real tinty audio. They were really high, you know, a lot of you know, upper ends on the ICOM audios. But they have come a long way. I think the guy, Ohio Mike dude, I think he got with ICOM, Chris, and set these hand mics up for these new ICOM. That radio right there and the 7300, they sound really nice coming out of the box. Over.
Oh yeah, I agree. Hell, I got the treble set at +3 and the bass set at -3, and I'm only running the microphone gain at around -3. I'm only running the microphone gain 35%.
Yep. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna get out. I enjoyed the net, and I'll be here next Friday. We can enjoy the net again, and we all can. Maybe he won't be so severe and call me Hitler and a terrorist, and God only knows what else I am. I hate bullies. I hate stinking ham radio bullies. I swear to God I do. I just hate them, man. They're bad for the hobby. They really are. They're no good for the hobby. And the bad thing about it, Chris, the majority of these kind of people are old ham radio operators, been around for 50 years, 30 years, you know, and I've been in ham radio for a long time myself. And
This is what gets me, and they're really no good for the newer hams coming into the hobby to listen to bullies like this that are so full of themselves because I've been a hound for 30, 40 years, 50 years. I don't care. You know, you're not setting good precedents for the new people coming into the hobby, and that's what I hate about it, man. That's why I got an issue with these bullies like this, these old ham radio. I've never heard young hams, guys that just came into the hobby do this kind of stuff to other people on frequencies. I've never heard of one, not the new guys that come into the hobby doing. It's the old timers that's doing this crap. They think they own something, and they have no respect for other people and their feelings. So that's where I'm at with this stuff, these bullies. Anyway, all right, man, I'm enough of my mess with you, but thanks for dropping by. Always a pleasure, brother. 73's to you, and we'll catch you down the log. AC4VO.
Hey, Barry.
Yeah, man.
Okay, Barry. Sounds good, buddy. Yeah, I was just kind of just passing by. Heard you down here talking. 7200 is just it's a zoo right now, and I was hoping to pick up a quick conversation with somebody somewhere. So I heard you talking, man. Just wanted to come in and say hello, but yeah, radio bullies. Yeah, I think I swing at them every chance I get. So a sense of entitlement, I guess. I mean, they're everywhere. You know, this is my frequency. I've been talking here for whatever so many years. You know, like who gives a damn? Anyway. Okay, bud, 7-3. We'll catch you later on from KK4SIJ.
Always a pleasure, man, Chris. Who called Barry? Go.
It's Don in 4XRP.
Hey, brother, what's going on, Don?
Hey, listen, I'm just curious, did you have a problem with Jim?
Yeah, Jim wants to call me a Hitler and a terrorist and all the things. Jim wants to come in and broadcast right on top of us. I asked him to QSY. What did he do? He didn't tell me there was a net, nothing. He just keyed down and broadcast, talking all kinds of crazy crap and how he had his free speech rights and I'm a terrorist and all. I got nothing for him, okay?
Yeah, I didn't hear the conversation. I got a phone call from a guy that said you and him were having some kind of problem. I've known Jim for years. He's just across the river from me over here in southern Indiana, and he's done a lot to help hams, set up their radios and their antennas. He's done quite a bit to help hams.
That's fine. That's fine. But one thing he's not doing, he's not respecting other amateur radio operators when the frequency's in use. He wants to call people names, and I asked him 4 times to come back in one-on-one and look, man, Don, to call me a Hitler and to call me a terrorist and me a former United States Marine, and you know my situation, that's personal, Don. That's personal. I didn't call him any kind of name. I just told him the frequency was in use to please QSY. And that's all that went on between me and himself. And he can play and been threatened. I'm going to play you on YouTube and all these kind of threats, Don. I'm sorry. I don't see. And then pray to God. And at the beginning, praying to God and talk about the QRM-Rs, and I'm a QRM-R, and he's the one that was broadcasting QRM on top of me. This guy's sick as far as I am concerned, and I got nothing for him. Now, if he wants to come in on the frequency and apologize for calling me them stinking names, he'll never have another issue with me. But I'm going to tell you, Don, I'm going to join this net next Friday and every single Friday after that, because I want to be a part of this wonderful group that wants to call me Hitler and a terrorist. I'm sorry. Over.
Yeah, I hear you, and I get it, and I understand. But I do know. Here's what I do know. I did not hear the conversation, therefore it's really. I really shouldn't make a comment about it. But I do know this: that Jim has been on this frequency every Friday on 7.188 from, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from 3 to 5 or from 4 to 5 or somewhere around there, 3 to 5 p.m. every Friday, and he's been here as long as I can remember. I just thought I'd throw that out to you.
Does that mean he owns it?
It doesn't make no difference. It doesn't.
Does that mean he owns it, Don?
No, of course not. Of course not. I'm just what I'm saying to you is, Barry, is this guy has done a lot to help hams. I know him. I know him personally. I've never met him, but I know him, from, getting on the local repeater here. But But he, Jim's a pretty good guy if you ever get to know him. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. I didn't hear the conversation, therefore I can't really make a judgment about it. I was just wanting to tell you that, he's been on this particular frequency for as long as I can remember. He's been on this frequency. Over.
Okay. Well, the thing of it is, I don't know who's on what frequency. I came here, there was nobody here. It was Philip, Keith, all the group. We moved off from 191 to here and started carrying on. And this man keyed up, and I said, sir, the frequency's occupied. He paid me no mind and started with his long broadcaster. He keyed down on us, Don, on us. I ain't kidding you, man. He sat there and read some crap for like 5 minutes on top of us, and about his net and praying to God and all this crap that he was doing, knowing that he was, right on top of us, Don. So I'm sorry. He may have good fruit elsewhere, but today he didn't show me good fruit at all, and I have nothing for the man. Now, if he wants to come in right now, because Jim, I know that you're listening. If you want to come in here and you and I, one-on-one, I'm a former Marine, boy. I am no thinking Hitler, and I am no terrorist, and I take that very, very personally. You want to come in here, and you and I come to one accord, you and I can be friends. I'm reaching out to you, Jim, but it's going to have to come out of your mouth. Well, I'll be here next Friday, and I'll be here every Friday from now on. AC4VO.
Very strong.
Yep, I think I'll check in as well. I'll be sure to tune in here next Friday afternoon and check in and listen to the vocal tone of an entitlement ham.
Yeah. Are you there, Jim?
Very strong. You're gonna be drunk next Friday, boy.
Hit the road.
I don't drink, old man. I've done told you that. I'm not. That's one thing I do not do. Sorry, I gave that crap up years ago. Don, I don't know. Like I said, he came in and did that on top of me. I don't take that stuff lightly. I understand, Don, you in the middle, yada, 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 and you weren't here to listen, but I don't have a reason to lie to you about what came down, and I just told you what came down on top, and I think that Jim's operating practices need improvement. I don't care what he's done for the hobby. You don't have a right to come in and broadcast on top of ongoing people because you think you own a frequency. I'm sorry, and there's a lot of nets that have that mentality, Don. You know what I'm saying is truth. AC4VO.
I do understand, and like I say, I only hear one side of the story. I only hear your end of the story. But I had gotten a text message from another ham who had mentioned that there was a problem with Jim and you on 7188, and I'm thinking I've never known Jim to give anybody a problem, but if he did, he did. I hate to hear that, but anyway, all right, I'll let you go. I don't want to drag this through the mud any much longer. It just gets worse the longer you string it out. But anyway, we can talk again tomorrow in 4XRP.
All right, man. Yeah, it's bad for the hobby. It's bad for the hobby having that bullying mentality and threatening. I'm gonna play you on YouTube. That's what he told me, Don. He threatened me. Don, you know me. I could care less about a stupid YouTube. Anything, okay? I could care less. Because I know how to, when I hit the off button on this radio, all this crazy stuff goes away that quick. Anyway, but calling me Hitler and a terrorist and all these things, when he was the one absolutely was in the wrong. And, don't believe me. Go to Keith. Go to Philip. They were in here. They heard it all. They were part of it. They QSY'd down to 83 because of this guy. We were all in here cutting up, laughing, having a good time, and this guy comes in, and I asked him, when he keyed up, I said, excuse me, sir, the frequency's occupied, and he just pushed the talk, locked it down, and read some bull crap, some opening thing for his net, and with a prayer. I ain't kidding you. It went on for 5 to 10 minutes, just locked it down, because what did he think he was going to do? Put his 20 over on top of everybody in here, and that we would leave. And he was going to bully his way on this frequency. It ain't happening, man. Don, you know me better than that. It ain't happening, man. I'm going to be here next Friday, and I'm going to be polite. I don't call Jim names. I never did call him a name. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to join the net until he and I personally can come to one accord and he's gonna apologize for the name calling on me. That's that simple. You don't call me a Hitler and a terrorist. I'm an American, and you don't do that to me. And so anyway, that's between him and myself, Don, not to drag you in the middle of it. But anyway, thanks for dropping by. Good to hear you as always, and best of 73s. And hope Jim is listening, and he needs to do his opening radio practices a little bit better. He's not really showing any good things for the new hams coming into the hobby, being a bully on a frequency. He doesn't own this frequency. This frequency, when it's in use, I'm sorry, I don't care if you've had a net for 200 years, you don't own it. If you ask politely, you know me, Don, if you'd asked me politely that I didn't know anything about this net. If he said, hey, we have a net here and we doing this and that, can you guys, I would have been more than glad to do it. And you know me, I would have done it in a heartbeat. Anyway, I'm not going to sit there and rub the salt in the wound anymore. It just don't mean anything. It is what it is. He wants to call me names? Fine. It's going to be him and me from now on. We're going to come to know one another real good in the future. So anyway, I'm looking forward next Friday. I can't wait. AC Proville, be good, man. Hey there, David. What's happening, man?
Oh, Gary. To call it a mutual misunderstanding and let it go.
Who are you?
This is AB4VG.
I don't have a clue. What? How are you in this dogfight? Who are you?
It's Cliff.
This is Cliff Mobile.
All right, what's your deal, Cliff?
I've listened to Jim, and he really does help a lot of people. I heard it too. It's kind of a misunderstanding on both parts. Jim's a fine gentleman, and so are you. If I were you, I would just call it a mutual misunderstanding.
No, sounds like Jim was being an asshole. Is what it sounds like. Let's call it what it is. From the facts that I've gathered, it sounds like Jim was being an asshole. Let's just call it what it is. Let's not try to smooth it over.
AB4VG clear.
All right, Cliff. Hey, David. All right, Cliff, do you know this man, Jim?
Well, I don't know him personally, but I've listened to him a lot, and he takes his time. He helps people, get their radio all set up. He ain't getting paid for it. He's really highly professional, in my opinion, and maybe he didn't do exactly as you would expect today, and maybe you didn't do either, but we all get in these things, and I would suggest that you and Jim call it a mutual misunderstanding. I really think that Jim is a credit to amateur radio, in my opinion.
Yeah, so am I. So are you. So all of us are. Okay? No one outshines any other as far as I'm concerned. We all can contribute to amateur radio. That's the way I look at it, Cliff. But this guy got personal with me. And it goes beyond misunderstandings. He got personal. He called me a Hitler and a terrorist and other filthy crap. And I can't let that rest, man. I'm sorry, that's a bully. That is a bully. That's a ham operator that's being a bully and calling other people names because I had this frequency. We were on the frequency. We were talking, the group. All he had to do was tell me he had a net here. I don't know about his stupid net. And his fruit, that what he's done for the hobby, that's great. Hope it continues on. But he needs to work on his operating practices. He needs to understand because he's had a net for 200 years on this frequency, he doesn't own it. And he should politely, like I do, ask people, is the frequency in use? And if it is, I QSY. And if he told me he had a net, Cliff, I'd have done it. But anyway, all right, thanks for your input, man. Hey, David, how you doing, brother? Old lazy ham, what's going on, man? All right, I lost David. See you later, Chris. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, we'll catch you later on KK4SIJ.
All right, brother. 7-3.
AG4RY.
Hey, David, what's up, man?
You keep saying David. You talking to me?
Who are you? OHY?
No, AG4RY. This is Gary.
Oh my God, man. Okay, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. There's a lot of mess going on tonight. What's happening, bro?
Oh, I don't know. You can call me anything but late for supper there, over.
I hear you, Gary. Man, you sounding great as always, man. That Behringer, I swear that's a nice, don't you ever go back to that D104, over.
I copy that. Well, I'm used to hearing y'all up on 91. What are you doing down here?
Hey, stirring the pot. Very strong.
Sorry, I had a landline that was, not a landline, a cell phone, but I let that go to voicemail. All right, what was your last, Gary? I'm sorry, bro.
Well, I said I'm used to catching y'all on 91. What's going on down here?
Nah, long story. We QSY down here for the other net. Ain't that ironic? We moved off of 91 because there was another net coming in above us, and we always leave 91 for the other net. And we came here, we came here, and we were just sitting here talking, and there's some net here. This guy Gary just decided he's going to take the frequency, just talk right over top of us, just hammered down. He keyed down and monologued. Broadcasted for 5 or more minutes, man, with a prayer and the whole 9 yards, and just he was going to bully his way on top, and then started calling me names, Gary, a Hitler and a terrorist and all other kind, and a psycho. Let's see, I'm a psychopath. That's what he said. It's there. I'm a psychopath, and all kind of other mental issues, and I don't know, man. I just don't like bullies, Gary.
Well, it's a shame that somebody has to be spreading hate and discontent all the time, but anyway, I'm having a pretty good day. I hope yours gets better. AG4RY.
Yeah, it's all good. Man, I'm glad you keyed up. I got a guy on a bliss group I'm talking about. He's kind of got a situation you got. He's in a condo, and let me ask you, your antenna, you do have your antenna installation for your QTH on QRZ. Is that Roger?
Yeah, it's on QRZ. I got pictures of it.
Good.
Wrapping around the ceiling up here, over.
Yeah, good. Okay, good. Thank you, man. I was wanting to wait until I got a hold to you. I want to give him your call sign and tell him to go and take a look, because he's struggling, trying to figure out what he can do. He can't put anything outside at all. It's one of them HMO things. And I got thinking when I read his email, it's an email list group I belong to, and I read and I thought, well, man, Gary, my God, Gary's 30 over. And he's all his stuff is in, he's got a loop. All right, good. That's great. You got pictures, you got description of the antenna. I'll give it to him, and I'm sure that'll help him, Gary, over.
Oh, yeah, and my email's good on there, too, and you got my email. You tell him to send me an email, and I'll help him any way I can. And you can also tell him that I got less than $100 in my entire antenna system. That includes the feed line, the balance, the whole 9 yards there. It's all very cheaply done there, over.
Oh, Roger. I'll tell him. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to likewise give him your email and let him contact you directly. You're the guy that can fill him in. Yeah, he's got the exact same situation you've done, and you just got an extremely beautiful signal with what you're dealing with there in that HMO. And I was thinking, Gary, I thought, wow, he needs to put what you got up. And you got all that listed in your email. That's cool. Thanks a lot, man. Best of 73, your big signal, and don't ever get rid of that Behringer, Roger.
Roger. Well, you've mentioned that guy before, and I never have heard anything from him, but yeah, all he's got to do is look at my call sign there on QRZ. He got a good idea what I've got, and nothing hard about it there, over.
Hey, Roger that. Okay, I'll tell him. Take care. Have a great evening, man. Best of 73s. We'll see you down the logbook. Appreciate you, Gary. Always a pleasure, man. Alpha Charlie 4, Victor Oscar. Be clear on your final.
Okay there, Barry. I hope your wife got you dialed in on that web page that I give you. I want you to read that story, so or at least have her put it in something where it'll communicate it back to you there anyway. So I'll catch you next time around. AG4RY 73.
73, good night, Gary. Absolutely, we're going to your son's website. I can't wait. I know that's going to be some good peanut butter and other stuff. He's got a lot of stuff. He's into a lot. And as you tell me, she's already looked at his website. So, yeah. All right, 73, man. We see you. AC Proville Cliff.
It is now time for the Dr. VKV radio show, live, complete with commercials, on the 40-meter amateur band. This program is broadcast every Friday at 3:30 p.m. for your listening pleasure.